Hello everyone and welcome back to Arctic Retro. So the vacation is still just finished and I am still making a couple of easy videos. I'm gonna make a couple of more advanced videos soon. However, I am waiting for some parts for some projects and things like that. So I just go easy on this one. And this one is these ATARI ST machines that I have. I haven't really checked them out if they're working or how they perform, but they are in a need of some restoration work at least, and I'm going to check them out and see what we have. I did a video about another ATARI ST not that long ago. Yeah, and this time I have an original ATARI 520 ST, and the other machine, it's a 1040 STF. Before I continue, I just want to say thank you to my sponsor PCBWay. They do a great job at producing prototype PCBs. I have used them many times, so I really appreciate the cooperation. If you want to have produced your own PCBs, then just visit PCBWay.com and you can get an instant quote right now with 10 PCBs for as low as $5 US. Besides PCB manufacturing, they also do CNC machining, sheet metal fabrication and 3D printing. So that's all your needs for your hobby projects. Also visit their shared project site where you can find a lot of ready-made great designs which you can order PCBs directly from this site. So go ahead and visit PCBWay.com right now. So I already had these out in the sun and they are a lot less yellow now than when I got them, but still a little bit of yellowing, so they need more sun. And this one has a loose key. It's a little bit broken, and the fastening is broken. It can sit there, but it falls out very easily. Need to take care of that. Then I have a power supply. Something is loose inside. I need to check out that, and a mouse, which is kind of yellowed or more like greenish. We'll see if that is working as well, I don't know. So the ATARI ST was a machine that was competing with the Amiga back in the day. I only had an Amiga, I never had an ATARI ST back then, but now I think they're cool machines, and I would love to explore them more and learn more about these machines. However, in this video, gonna clean them up, take a look inside, see what they need and check if everything works. And I also got a diagnostics cartridge now for the ATARI ST. Gonna check that out. I haven't done that yet. And that's this little guy. I got this, I think it was eBay, don't remember. I'm gonna come back to some more details about this diagnostics cartridge and yeah, see if it works. But enough with the talk, let's check out and see if these machines do power on. I think they do. I think I briefly tested them when I got them a while back. I got them from Robert from Sweden as a donation. I'm very thankful about that. Yeah, let's check out this power supply and see what's loose inside and see if it gives the correct power. Very dirty keyboard on this one. Yeah, and then I'll take it from there. I'll start with the power supply. Let's see if I can even open this, if it's even possible. Does it have any screws? Or is it completely locked in? Seems like someone has tried to take this out before. I mean, some power supplies, they have hidden screws underneath these covers. Nope, there doesn't seem to be, but yeah, this has obviously been opened before because there's glue in between. So yeah, the cover just comes off like that. Yes, interesting design. Oh yeah, there's a big blob of epoxy there. So what's loose inside is just the PCB, wiggles a little bit around. And very thin wires going just over here. Yeah, just gonna check that it works and it gives the correct voltages. Oh, nothing happened, no explosion or anything. Okay, so just checking the voltages from the plug. It should have 5 volts and plus and minus 12 volts. So let's see if we can find that. Yeah, there's 5.3 on 2 pins. 12 looks good. And that one, let's see, a little bit hard to reach down to the pins in the contact. Yeah, that's a minus 12. Okay, so that means we're good to go with this. 5.3 volts might seem a little bit high, at least for some machines like the Commodore 64, but I think on this one it's okay. All right, let's start by investigating this 520 ST. Apart from being dirty and it has a little black marks here and there, it looks to be in good shape. Nothing loose inside. Yeah, let's take a look at the label. So here it actually says Atari 520 STM, and the M stands for it has a built-in modulator, RF modulator. However, that was not printed on the label on the front. Yeah, and the serial number. On the back it has a bunch of ports. It has a reset switch, power input, yeah, there's MIDI out and MIDI in, RF out there, monitor output, special kind of DIN connector, printer, and the modem, and the floppy disk drive. Yeah, this machine does not have a built-in floppy drive and hard disk. So I guess with this machine back in the day, if you didn't have a floppy disk drive, there wasn't really much you could use it for, or a hard drive. I hooked up the TV via RF and the power. Let's turn it on now and see if we get anything. Yeah, power LED is on. Yes, and there we have it, a nice green, relatively clear image of the Atari ST desktop. I do have one of those special Atari ST video cables that gives you a better video quality, obviously, but I have had some trouble with that. It flickers a lot, at least on this TV, so yeah, not gonna try that right now. Next I'm going to try out is this diagnostics cartridge, and yeah, I don't have any other cartridges for the Atari ST machines. It has a cartridge slot here on the side. Let's put this in and see what happens first time. Yeah, that was hard, but got it in eventually. Okay, so we have a lot of bus errors, access address, program counter, this and that. Doesn't look very promising. Now this looks better. The diagnostics cartridge has a ROM selector. I selected the other ROM. Yeah, now we get this menu. Okay, lots of keyboard shortcuts. It's a little bit difficult to read this on the RF signal output, but I think I can make it. Yeah, that looks better. We have a RAM, keyboard, audio, floppy disk, ROM, MIDI, timing, printer, etc. color. You can test the hard disk and things like that. Let's test the RAM. And that was 520K RAM pass. I thought it would be 512, but don't know if that's mistyping in the program here or not. Obviously need to test the keyboard, even though it seems to be working okay. I'm going to test all the keys. Every key worked perfectly fine without pressing hard on them, so that's good. So the audio. Yeah, sound on all 3 channels. ROM test. Toss in ROM. Version 1.0 UK PAL, and the checksums seems to be good. It's a pass. Timing. Yeah, that's a pass. Printer, joystick ports I'm not bothered with. Color, let's check that. Seems to be fine. Serial port we can test. DMA we can test. High resolution, I'm not sure if I can test it here with just RF out. Let's try it. Yeah, it says connect monochrome monitor. Real-time clock test, no clock installed. Long blit test, no blitter installed. So you can run more than one test at once. These are the internal tests, so-called. Yeah, that just runs a bunch of tests that we've already seen in sequence. Yes, this machine seems to be working as expected. Some of the things I can't test because then you obviously need some hardware dongles and stuff like that. Yeah, and the tester worked, so nice to have. Next I'm gonna test if we can load something onto this. I have this external floppy disk drive, just hooked it up. It's a ATARI SF354. Also gonna run the floppy disk test with the diagnostics. Let's do that first. I guess we need a blank floppy disk in for that. And turn on the floppy. Let's run a quick test. Yeah, it's formatting. Yeah, that was a pass. How about the read alignment? Read analog alignment disks A or B. I don't know if you need to have some special disk for this, called alignment disk. No, I couldn't get that to work. I'm not really sure how that's supposed to be working. Let's run the speed test. Okay, so the allowed range is from 196 to 204, and this one tests at 195. That's just 1 millisecond off, so I guess it's okay then. Just formatting and the whole disk. So now it's writing data to all the tracks. This is the disk exercise routine. I know it reads back random tracks on the disk, so everything seems to be working perfectly fine. Let me check if I can run a game. I have a few floppy disks for the Atari ST machines, however many of those only work on a double-sided or double-density floppy disk drive, which this is not, and yeah, on the Atari 1040, but not on this machine. But this one I think works. Yep. This is the Last Ninja 2. Yeah, that seems to load just fine. Not gonna play or test anything more than this. Alright, so this machine works 100%, at least close to that, I guess. So next step now is actually going to open up the machine, inspect it inside and do some cleaning. Also going to take off and clean the case parts, the keyboard keycaps also. I removed the screws, so now let's see what we find inside this machine. Always exciting to see what the years has done to the inside. Okay. I see some corrosion on the shield and a lot of dust and dirt, obviously. A lot of rust stains on this one. Gonna remove the keyboard and take away the shield and see what's underneath. Alright, that's the inside of an Atari ST 520. Yeah, looks good, but there's a lot of dust here. So obviously need a good cleaning. Besides that, I can't see anything wrong. This wire here looks a little bit unusual. Not really sure if that's original. If anyone knows what this wire is for, it seems to go from inside this box to the RF modulator. All the caps looks good. No one has blown or leaked or anything. Yes, so I think I'll just do a quick cleanup of this off cam and then I'll be back. There isn't much else I'm gonna do with this machine anyway, so yeah, off with the dust. Alright, that was a bit of a cleaning job. The motherboard looks absolutely mint now. Cleaned up the case, obviously. Looks like brand new actually, but still a little bit yellowed. And the keyboard, obviously I took up all the keycaps and cleaned everything very nice. The keycaps are still a bit yellowed. This machine's gonna have a little more hours out in the sun. The shield, I just cleaned it off and I have used a little bit of WD-40 all over just to protect from the rust developing further. So I'm just gonna assemble this machine now, do a brief test, and then we'll move over to the 1040. Alright, the machine works. I'm now using the RGB cable and yeah, have higher resolution and yeah, looks much better. Still with this cable on my TV I get this flickering, so I'm not really sure. I read someplace that you need to do something with the cable, like a resistor or something, or get another cable that actually works. I'm currently waiting for another cable, see if that improves it. The mouse is working great. I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit, and yeah, that was it for the 520 ST. Let's jump right over to the 1040. Just one little interesting thing. The diagnostics test here has a toggle where you can toggle the video output between 50 and 60 Hz. And yeah, I noticed if I toggle to 60 Hz, the flickering actually stops. So a little bit strange there. So that probably means that the issue is with my TV here and not the cable. The 1040, it actually looks a lot better with regards to the yellowing. Still a little bit yellowed, I can see. Yeah, and yeah, which key was it that was loose? This one, need to try and fix that. However, turning this machine around, I can hear something is loose inside. Yeah. The backside looks good. It's a 1040 STF made in Sunnyvale, California. This one has the joystick ports under the machine, which is a little bit peculiar, I think. Alright, so same drill with this. Gonna test it with the diagnostics cartridge and some games perhaps, and then open it up and check the status inside and see what we have to do there. This machine is obviously much heavier than the 520 because it has a built-in power supply. I don't have to use this one, and obviously it has a floppy disk drive. The disk drive probably needs some servicing. I'll take a look at that. Let's see now, does it work or not? Same flickering issue with this as well. The drive is ticking. Now eventually it booted into TOS, but it took a little bit longer because it's obviously trying to read from the floppy disk, I think. Yeah, machine works. It's the Swedish version of the operating system. That makes sense because I got this from Sweden. Alright, let's check out first of all the diagnostics. Yeah, that started. And it's now into 60 Hz mode, so it doesn't flicker. that's good. Let's just run the basic tests like RAM and keyboard and the other tests. Start with RAM. This one has 1 megabyte, 1024 kilobytes. So this was the big competitor to the Amiga 500 back in the day. Yeah, 1 meg RAM pass. Audio was okay. Keyboard, just gonna run through all the keys. Yeah, all passed there. All the tests I could run passed. That's good. Let's see where the floppy drive, how that performs. Yeah, that passed. Great. That's really nice. Let's see about the speed on this one. Yeah, that's dead on, around 200 milliseconds. Damn, it's hot inside my attic today. We are in late August and today it's 23 degrees Celsius. That's crazy. Alright, that was great. Everything seems to be working fine on this machine. Let's test. I have some original Atari software here, some games and software packs, discovery pack, and yeah, let's try Gauntlet 2. Yeah, look at that, it loaded. I didn't connect the joystick, so might not be able to start it, but yeah, at least it works this far. Yeah, gonna play some Gauntlet later, I guess. Alright, that was it. Now let's open up this machine and take a peek inside and see what we can do with it. And obviously it needs a bit of cleaning. Need to find a fix for the key. There's a bunch of screws on this. On the underside there's 10 screws. Well, there's 3 for the floppy drive. Oh well, there's one screw missing there. That needs to be fixed. So what do we have inside this one then? Well, it actually looks rather good. No visible corrosion anywhere, as I can see. Maybe a little spot there, that's all. Quite different keyboard connector for this machine compared to the 520. Probably a completely different keyboard as well, because it has the joystick ports built in. Yeah, the floppy drive. So I'm gonna remove that and service that a little bit later. Remove the shield. It's a little bit thicker and heavier. And this is the power supply. But overall this looks good so far. Yeah, and there we have the thing that was loose. One of the screw posts are broken off. So I think I'm just gonna glue that with some super glue, I guess. So it's actually broken off on both sides. This part needs to be glued on this side and this part on the other side. And yeah, it's even split almost in two. So I think I saw some 3D parts that you could print for this that can replace broken off keyboard posts, but yeah, I'll check that out later. That's the power supply, and it doesn't have any refuzz luckily, but it has a bunch of large capacitors. They all seem fine. So I struggle a little bit to get the shield off. Somehow it seems it's stuck to the power supply. Do I really need to remove that first? Seems like that. I can't see any way or any screws or anything that holds it. So I might need to take off the power supply first then. Try not to get shocked by possible voltage in the caps. Yeah, that's the way. Maybe this has been opened before, because usually those tabs are bent, but not these ones. Yeah, maybe I didn't need to take out the power supply after all, because maybe it was just that. Anyway, it's off. Alright, we're inside, and the board looks quite alright. It's not even dusty, well, a little bit. That's all the ROMs, and there's a bunch of those, but what the heck is this? A 4700 microfarad cap between there. Seems a little bit strange. Is that original? Seems a little bit strange the way it's laid out, so I don't know, maybe there's some modification to this. So just gonna remove the floppy and service that separately. Yeah, and it's quite a bigger motherboard than the 520, as you can see, and it has a lot of RAM chips. 1 megabyte. That's the CPU, the Motorola 68000. I found a loose screw there. A very small one. Don't have a clue where that came from, but maybe it's somewhere on the board. The board isn't screwed down. I don't think so. No. It's completely loose. So you can just pull it out. And a loose screw over there as well. Where do they come from? Except the screw posts here, and the case looks alright. Gonna take it down and clean it up. 003, what's that? The keyboard on this one as well is quite filthy, especially on the sides of the key. I have actually wiped off the tops before, but a lot of dirt in between. So same drill here. I'm gonna pull it apart and clean up the keycaps and the plate underneath. Alright, it's the next day and it's even warmer today, so I'm sweating here. I tried to take off my t-shirt, but then where should I put the microphone? I don't have any air conditioning in my house because we usually don't need it. Anyway, I have glued on the screw post and the hole on the other side with some super glue. I'm now going to strengthen it around with some epoxy glue. So I'm using this 2-component epoxy glue and just mix the 2 components together. I got too much because only one of the components came out first, but this part is good. Then just apply a little bit around the base of that screw post. And on the other side as well, around the hole. So now I have cleaned everything and I'm ready to assemble the machine again. Just gonna let the glue dry for some hours before that. And then we're ready to do some more testing on this machine. When I took apart the keyboard, I noticed that the spacebar was missing those clips that holds the metal bar that keeps the spacebar straight. So I found a model here. Just gonna print 2 of those. Now for the floppy drive, while it is functioning perfectly fine, it can still benefit from a little bit of cleaning, servicing. Oops. Yeah, it's quite dusty inside here. Oops, a lot of small bunnies gathering together. Okay, I'm just gonna do it quick and easy. I'm gonna blow away the dust and then I'm gonna clean the heads and lubricate the moving parts, the rails that the head is moving on, for example. Obviously gonna clean up a little bit around here and there with some IPA and cotton swabs. Dust is now gone. Let's just do a little bit of Yeah, mopping here and there. Yeah, it's kind of black. Doesn't look too bad. If you want to completely restore a floppy drive, you obviously need to disassemble it a little bit more and so that you can reach all the parts, but I see no need for that on this one. Dust is gone, just picking up any remaining dirt around here and there. The head is sliding very easily, so I just wipe off those rails as far as I can reach them, and then use a little bit of lubrication afterwards. Just a little amount of lithium or silicone fat. I use this silicone spray from Biltema. Just apply a little bit onto a cotton swab, and then apply a little bit onto the rails where I can reach them, and that will probably distribute itself when the head is moving. Finally cleaning the heads, and that's the white part over there. I have this cotton swab with some alcohol on. Just gently wipe around there, turn it around, wipe once more, and then I use the dry side afterwards, clean dry side. Yeah, and also the one on the top underneath this one. Finally clean the contacts with some contact cleaner. That was it, one serviced floppy drive. By the way, this is a Chinon drive made in Japan, for those of you who are interested in those details. The power supply, it looks very good. I didn't do anything with it except blow away dust and a little bit cleaning. Obviously, if you want to future-proof this, you want to replace the capacitors. I'm not going to do that now. I don't think I have all the necessary sizes, and yeah, everything looks good, so no need for that yet, I think. So while reassembling the machine, I actually was wondering what the heck this is for. It was loose inside the machine and just placed there. And also the two loose screws I found are probably for this. And I cannot figure out how this is supposed to fit. I googled, take a look at other machines, and I can't see this one on any machine I found on the internet. So then I thought, maybe it's for the keyboard, and yes, it is supposed to go here to strengthen the joystick push, I guess. Yeah, this is how it goes. So why it was loose, I don't know. Maybe the previous guy that worked on this machine couldn't figure out how to assemble it again. Okay, just gonna assemble the rest and then do a test. Yeah, and the screw hole I fixed seems to be holding strongly. Don't want to tighten it too much. Okay, does it still work? Yep. Still works. Just gonna check that the keyboard is working. Yeah, seems to be working fine. Nice. About the shift keycap that's broken, there's several things I could do. I could replace the whole key with a new one from another machine, which wouldn't help on that machine. I can leave it as is because the part missing is on that side, so it won't be visible. The problem is the fastening is making it loose, so I could replace only that part if it's possible. So I found a model for the key on Thingiverse, and yeah, I was thinking maybe if I just cut off the sides, that's the big blocks, that's a negative volume I have added. to the key, so it's only the middle part and the base that's left. And after slicing this, it looks like that. So I'm gonna print that and see what we end up with. And that's the result after a little bit manual cutting. Problem is, how do I fit this, and will it be correctly aligned? Is it possible to remove the inner part of the key? I'm gonna see if that's even possible, then I can try and maybe perhaps glue this on. No, I think these parts are welded together somehow. Doesn't seem like it's possible to take out the inner part. I decided to cut away that part and grind down a little bit, and now I'm just going to try and fit this and glue it on. Just have an original key to compare with, so it needs to go that way, but then it seems like it's too high, so I'm going to adjust the 3D model a little bit and print another one. This is the revised part, so I think this might fit. I roughed up the plastic a little bit to get a better grip, and I'm just gonna use a little bit of epoxy glue. Glue that down. Yeah, the height looks alright. So let me try and not make a complete mess out of this. It doesn't harden too fast, so you have a few minutes to work with it. Obviously it needs to be very straight. Yeah, I think that looks alright. Yeah, I put a lot of more epoxy glue around the edges of the part, so I think it should be solid. So just gonna leave that to dry, and then we'll check it out, see if it works. So while we wait for that, let's test a game or two. Problem with this machine, it doesn't have an RF modulator, so I need to use the RGB cable, and it will flicker, but at least we can see what's going on. Let's try a little bomb jack. I hooked up a joystick. Bomb jack is a fun game, I think. Oops. I usually die pretty quickly on these games. Now I'm testing a little bit of those programs that came with it, the creativity pack, or what's it called. This should be a paint program. Yeah, we can paint. Nice. Alright, so that flickering just annoys me. I was thinking maybe if I use this HD video converter instead, it converts to HDMI. Let's check out that. So it takes a SCART as input and HDMI as output. Maybe that will work. Yes, look at that, that works. And it doesn't flicker, so that means that my TV can't handle the signal from the Atari ST. The picture looks very nice. Let's go to a little higher resolution. Yeah, that looks much better. But then we only get the 4 colors. The glue has dried for a while. I'm now placing the key down just to see if it fits, and while the glue is not completely set, it's then possible to adjust the key a little bit while it's still a little bit loose. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, that's perfectly acceptable. I can see it's a little bit, maybe 1 millimeter higher, but that's all right. I think that's a good fix, and the part missing behind, I don't care about that. It's not visible now. Alright, that was it for this video. 2 Atari ST machines fixed up, and they both work just great, so I'm happy about that. So now they can be either sold or yeah, maybe I'll keep them. I'll see about that, not really sure. A lot of work, but I think it's worth it in the end. And yeah, hope you too liked it. Hope this video was somewhat interesting. Just want to say thanks a lot for watching, and see you soon. And a special thanks to my patrons. See you, bye bye.